Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be testing a 5-minute zigzag scalping strategy. But before we do, if you have not watched the first video on the channel and all the videos after that, you need to go do that now. Here at the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team. And as a team, we will all profit from it when we are done. You can find a link to the first video down below in the description, and you should also see it pop up in the top corner right now. There is also a link down below to sign up for TradingView. You can save a little bit of money if you use the link below to sign up for your account. You can also find a link below to join us on Discord. Discord is a free group communication platform where we are having great discussions about all things to do with trading. Lastly, if you would like a list of all the indicators we have tested along with their win rates, but you aren't interested in watching all the videos on the channel, you can sign up for our $9 Patreon, and you will receive the complete list of indicators. We also would like to introduce our Patreon exclusive Discord channel. As a $9 Patreon, you will be invited to join an exclusive Discord channel where we will give you a list of winning indicators and links for the MT platform, give you winning strategies, post trade ideas, give advanced advice, and much more. So click the link below to join our Patreon. Alright, as I said, today we will be testing a 5-minute zigzag scalping strategy. Before we do though, I wanted to put the testing scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested a total of 21 different strategies. Today's strategy will be the 22nd strategy that we will test. Out of those 21, we have had 4 winners, and we have tested a total of 366 indicators. And out of those 366 indicators, 148 of those have been winners, which means that they have met or exceeded the 60% win-loss ratio threshold that we have set for them. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. But as we are working on building the best trading system possible, you could take any one of those 148 indicators and get out there and start potentially profitably trading the markets with them now. So go back and watch those videos, make a list of those indicators, and get out there and see what you can do with them. But stick with us here as we work on maximizing your trading profits. Alright, let's see here. Now if I can stop stumbling over my words and if my dog will stop drinking so loud over there. We are looking at a 5-minute zigzag scalping strategy. And so typically we're testing indicators, but again, once a week, we do a video on a particular strategy, one that I typically find somewhere on YouTube that claims that the strategy is a winning strategy, and we test that and see what we can get out of it to see if it's actually a winning strategy. So with this one, we basically have 2 different indicators that we're going to use. We tested this on the Euro Great Britain Pound, which is what the original video tested it on. Again, 5-minute time frame. We have a standard EMA, so an exponential moving average, and we have that set to a length of 200. And then we have the ZigZag Indicator. So it's actually the ZigZag ++ by Lusum Enba, I believe it is. Could be pronouncing that completely wrong. But that is the one that we are using in this. I'll put a link to that one actually down below in the description because it might be a little challenging to find. So we have the zigzag on the default settings. We haven't changed anything on that. And this is how the screen looks here. So what we are looking for is first and foremost for price action to be trading either below or above the EMA. So this is a very standard setup for most strategies. So the EMA, the price action either below or above the EMA is a sign of good trend in either a down direction or an up direction. And so in this particular case, again, we're looking for price action to be either trading below or above the EMA. And then we're looking for the ZigZag indicator to then start to create lower lows, or I guess it would be a lower high technically in this particular case. And so with this particular zigzag, it actually labels lower high, higher low, lower high, and so on. And so you can see there that what we're looking for is when price action is below the EMA, we are looking for the zigzag indicator to actually be producing a lower high. And so if we look here, we can see that the zigzag indicator comes down, creates this lower low here. It then comes up, creates this lower high right here. Comes down, creates a higher low, and then comes up and creates a higher high. And so in this particular case, this higher high here, again, is higher than this one, which is why it's a higher high. And so in this particular case, that would invalidate what we're looking for. So then it comes down again, creates this lower low, which doesn't necessarily matter. This is what we're looking for here, is for the zigzag to come up and create a lower high, like I have marked here in purple. And now once it does that, the other criteria that we are looking for is that price action cannot, on the last leg of the lower high, or I guess it would be a higher high technically, it cannot have been above the EMA. And so you see that this one is well below it. So if we look over here, in this particular case, we see that there's a higher high. It comes down, creates a lower low, comes up, creates this lower high right here. So this is similar to the criteria that we're looking for. But in this case, when it created this higher high, it actually created it above the EMA. And so this, the zigzag itself is what I'm using as a gauge. The zigzag, the point right here that it creates, if I zoom in on this, the point right here as it creates this higher high cannot be above the EMA. On the reverse side, it cannot be below it if we're looking for long signals. And so right there, that meets all the criteria that we're looking for. And this right here would be the lower high that we're entering. Now, what we're going to do is wait for 1, 2, 3 candles to close. Sometimes you can go 4 because in this particular case, it would put our stop really super short. But if we did put our stop, so if we were taking a short position and we took our stop on the close of the third candle after the lower high, so 1, 2, 3, that little bitty red candle right here would be the close of the third candle right there. And so what we would do is we would put our stop right there at the top of that. You can use the body or you could use the wick in this case. And then we're going for a 1.3 reward to risk. And so you see here 1.3 is what we would be looking as far as a reward goes. Let's see. Actually dial this in here because we were on the wrong spot. It's not going to let me do it because it's so small. So right here, risk reward 1.5, we'd be looking for a 1.3, actually not over here on this side, not the target side. And then yeah, we would, ride that out, and you can see here that it got us to take profit here, but it was only a matter of, I think, 6 pips. And so, I mean, that would be 6 pips, but I'm not sure if your spread would actually cover, if you'd make anything off of it after you calculate in the spread. Depends on your broker. And so you might have gotten a few pips out of this particular one. And so that's what we're looking for there. That is the strategy in a nutshell. So if we mapped out another one right here, this is another example of one right here. And so you see price action is again trading well below the EMA. We create a higher high right here, which is well below the EMA. We are not up above the EMA or crossing over that point there. And then we come down, we create a lower low. Doesn't matter if it's a higher low or a lower low, doesn't really matter on this side. But over here, we create a lower high. And so this lower high right here, we would then count out 1, 2, 3, 3 candles. It's going to be our entry. We'd be on a short side again right there. Now, in this particular case, and I guess I said it wrong last time, so you'll have to excuse me for that. Yeah, I lost the spot there where we were at, I think right here. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to put our stop, so not at the entry candle, but we're actually going to put our stop right at that lower high. And so that one over there might have actually ended up being a losing trade. And so right there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go close enough, 1.29 risk reward right there. And that would be our trade there. So this would be our entry on that candle. Our stop would be right at the top, this peak right here where it created that lower high. And then we'd write it out for 1.3 risk to reward. And this one, you can see, came down, got us into a little bit of profit there. Again, only about 6 pips by the time it was all said and done. And so depending on your broker, again, that spread might have been pretty brutal. Yeah, that is the strategy there. For the upside for longs, you would just flip this on its head and you would just reverse this. So you'd basically be waiting to see as the zigzag creates a higher low instead of a lower high, so it would be a higher low in that particular case on the other side. And so, yeah, that's basically it right there. That's the strategy, 5-minute scalping strategies. Lower time frame strategies seem to be extremely popular. We pick up, I see a lot of videos on scalping strategies, lower time frame strategies, and so that's kind of what I do videos on as they come about, just because they seem to be the most popular ones. So here's another one. Before we add these up and take a look at the overall win of all the signals that I tested, now would be a good time to say that if you are interested in excelling your trading knowledge, whether you are a new trader or an experienced trader, I highly recommend that you join our Patreon-only channel on our Discord server. You can find a link to our Patreon down below. Once you sign up for that, it will give you access to the Patreon-only channel, where we are posting some really great advanced information about trading strategies, trading indicators, trading philosophy, just discussing advanced stuff about trading in general. Our admin Jay has also put together a rather lengthy list of winning indicators for the MT platforms, and so that can be extremely useful if you use the MT platforms quite a bit. And then our admins and regular members are also posting regular, almost everyday trade analysis, market analysis, where they're putting up screenshots of charts where they've marked out support and resistance and indicators that they're using. They are showing exactly where they are entering, exiting, taking profit on trades, growing small accounts really quickly with the information they're putting out there for everyone to see. And so, again, it's great, wonderful value. And then one last thing that I've been doing recently is I've put together an Excel list of all the strategies that we have tested, show exactly what their win rate is, which ones were winners, which ones were losers, and links to all the videos, so that way you can go back and review those strategies. So again, a lot of wonderful value for really, really cheap. Doesn't cost hardly anything at all. So I highly recommend join our Patreon. All right, back to the strategy here. Let me dig back here a little ways. So I tested this over 50 different trades. Out of those 50 trades, we got 36 winners. We got 14 losing trades. That puts us about 72% win rate. Not bad at all, considering how you are shooting for a 1.3 reward to risk. And so definitely a winning, even if you were doing just, 1-to-1 risk reward, then that would also be profitable. But that extra little bit that it adds on there really makes this really decent. Now, the only drawdown or the only downside to this is the fact that a good amount of the winning trades were very small amount of pips, and so you're going to get, eat up on the spreads from your broker, as I've said a few times before. And so, excuse me. So keep that in mind, that with any trading strategy, especially a scalping trading strategy on such a small time frame, you're going to have to account for the cost of, only getting small amounts, small positions as winners. But that's not to say that it won't work. Seems like a really solid, decent strategy, especially for such a small time frame. I'm really surprised that it did very well. There were a few instances where out of 10 trades, you got 9 winners and only 1 loser. I actually did that twice, and then from there it started to kind of level off. 6 winners, 4 losers, 7 winners, 3 losers, and then this 10 was probably the worst with 5 winners, 5 losers. A 50% win rate. But even at that, with the risk reward, you would still be profitable. And then that just goes back to the point that I've made in a few other strategy videos, that even on a small scale, even on a small amount of trades, you can get a pretty good idea of what kind of win rate you can get out of either a strategy or an indicator. And so sometimes you'll have anomalies like this, but for the most part, it seems to be pretty consistently hovering around the 70% or even a little bit higher. And so definitely not far off from its overall win rate. All right, that's it. I'm going to cut the video here so that way things don't get any longer than they already have. A really decent strategy. I was surprised by it, pleasantly surprised by the strategy. And so, yeah, that's it for this video. And we will pick up testing another indicator on the next video from here. If you have not already, like this video, share this video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I post a new video. So that way you know what indicators we have tested and are testing. Also, there is a link down below to join our Discord server, which is a free group communication platform where we discuss all things trading related. There is also a link down below to TradingView, and if you use that link to TradingView to sign up for an account, you will save a little bit of money. And lastly, there is a link down below to sign up for Patreon. Please sign up for the Patreon and support the channel the best way you can.